A Mortal's Journey to Immortality episode 175. In the previous episode, Han Li found himself locked in a fierce contest of spiritual sense against the powerful Marquis Nanlong. What began as a simple exchange of pointers quickly turned into a shocking display of strength. Their spiritual senses clashed with such force that the surrounding air trembled, tearing through the skies in violent gusts. Even Elder Lu and Peiling were stunned to see Han Li's power rival that of a mid-nascent soul cultivator. Though Marquis Nanlong had cultivated for centuries, Han Li's mastery of spiritual sense formation left him both astonished and wary. Realizing Han Li's potential, the Marquis ended their duel peacefully and secretly passed him a jade slip, an invitation to a mysterious gathering that promised great benefit. As the storm faded, Han Li rejoined his companions, calm as ever, but with new questions stirring in his heart about what awaited him at this secret meeting. And the story continues. Han Li stood on the side of a mountain and glanced at the huge city walls several kilometers away. He let out a soft murmur, almost to himself. This is Soaring Heaven's mountain? The sight before him was immense. The city sprawling across the landscape like a stone fortress carved from the earth itself. Lu Luo, standing beside him, mirrored his expression of awe, though it was laced with a hint of practicality. Has Junior Martial Brother never seen a city of this size before? Lu Luo asked, his voice calm but curious. The Nine Nations Union has expanded this city multiple times before reaching this scale. While I wouldn't dare to claim it as the largest city in the entire Heavenly South, it certainly ranks among the top 5. Every stone in the city walls and buildings comes from the same source, giving it a sense of unity and grandeur. Han Li allowed a faint smile to cross his lips, though internally he remained unimpressed, compared to the legendary Heavenly Star City in the scattered star seas. Soaring Heaven's city was grand but still ordinary. 50 kilometers across was certainly large, but for Han Li, who had witnessed true colossal cities, it was nothing extraordinary. Peiling, on the other hand, could not hide her amazement. Her eyes widened as she took in the massive stone structures, the bustling activity, and the sheer scale of the city. Lu Luo shook his head slightly and muttered, "Still, we will have to approach Soaring Heaven's city on foot. How troublesome." Han Li pursed his lips and replied with calm reasoning. The Nine Nations Union has no choice. With the sheer number of high-grade cultivators gathered here, controlling aerial access would be impossible. But for cultivators at our level, these restrictions are barely a hindrance. If we truly wished to fly, nothing here could stop us. Lu Luo's expression shifted, a mix of admiration and slight surprise. I didn't expect Junior Martial Brother to be so practical and open-minded. Well then, let's move. The sooner we enter the city, the more opportunities there will be to gain advantage or profit. Since Han Li's earlier encounter with Marquis Nanlong, Lu Luo had treated him with a deeper familiarity, and this moment was no exception. The three of them began walking toward the city gate in a steady, deliberate pace. Being near Soaring Heaven's city meant crowds were thick, with people streaming in from all directions. Han Li and Lu Luo carefully concealed their cultivation, blending in among the throngs as though they were mere Foundation establishment disciples. Their goal was to avoid drawing any unnecessary attention. And it worked. Guards stationed along the gate barely noticed them as they passed. Inside the city, orderly rows of stone buildings stretched in every direction. Streets of varying lengths wound through the city like the threads of an intricate web, creating both a sense of congestion and organized flow. Lu Luo, having visited the city before, suggested, "We should first find a permanent residence. There's no need to disturb the inns. Distinguished pavilions exist specifically for nascent soul cultivators like ourselves, and we can head there directly." Han Li nodded, leaving the decision to Lu Luo's guidance, while Peiling followed close behind, her steps careful yet curious. After navigating through multiple streets, they arrived at a corner of the city where a white light barrier glowed, marking the entrance to a cluster of elegant yet simple pavilions. Cultivators outside the barrier peeked in with admiration but did not linger, wary of crossing boundaries they could not breach. Lu Luo approached the barrier, pressing his hand against it. Blue light flickered from his palm, and with a faint whoosh, A hole formed in the barrier, allowing him to pass through effortlessly. Han Li followed with quiet efficiency. Opening his mouth, he exhaled a mist of azure light, which caused the white barrier to shatter in an instant, forming a 3-meter-wide passage. He then helped Mu Peiling through, holding her close to avoid any mishap. She blushed at the proximity, a strange warmth filling her chest as they entered together. Lu Luo's eyes widened briefly at Han Li's display of power, but he quickly composed himself. These pavilions are reserved for nascent soul cultivators and their companions. He explained, you may choose freely, though the light barrier indicates whether the pavilion is occupied. Some cultivators prefer to stay outside the city or in inns, but most utilize these accommodations. A few pavilions already shone with restrictions, signaling occupancy. Pointing to 2 neighboring pavilions, Lu Luo suggested, Junior Martial Brother, let us take these. It will be safer to look out for each other. Han Li examined them briefly and agreed. Just as Lu Luo was about to speak further, the light barrier of another pavilion suddenly opened. A small figure darted out, his presence immediately commanding attention. Yi, is that not Brother Lu? I didn't expect you to arrive so early, the child called. His voice filled with surprise and familiarity. Han Li looked on, recognizing the figure instantly. The child fire dragon he had seen previously in the sacred area of the 3 sects. The boy's bright eyes widened as he took in Han Li and Mu Peiling, recalling their presence during the last sword trial assembly. After a moment, his expression shifted from surprise to understanding. Lu Luo smiled warmly, clearly pleased. Hee, it is indeed fellow Taoist Lan. How have you been? And this is our newly joined elder Han. Junior Martial Brother Han. You've met Brother Lan before, so there is no need for formal introductions. The child fire dragon gave a wry smile. So it is true that fellow Taoist Han has become an elder of the Drifting Cloud sect. My apologies for any misjudgment in the past. Han Li replied with a courteous smile. I only wished to observe the sacred spirit well tree. I hope no offense was taken. Lan waved the matter off. No offense at all. You arrive at a perfect time. I am meeting a few acquaintances at the Crystal Dragon Pavilion for a small-scale trade. Perhaps you would like to see if anything catches your interest. Lu Luo's eyes sparkled at the news. An exchange already? We have arrived at an opportune moment. But we must hurry, Junior Martial Brother, or we may miss valuable items. Han Li nodded, his calm demeanor unwavering. Then let us follow Senior Martial Brother Lan. After arranging the necessary restrictions around their own pavilions, Han Li left Mu Peiling behind to remain inside while they followed Lan. The child fire dragon explained clearly. The Crystal Dragon Pavilion is managed by a friend of mine within the 9 Nations Union. His network spans numerous powers, allowing him to assemble this trade meeting. To avoid complications, all participants conceal their true appearances. Lu Luo's curiosity was piqued. This must be Taoist Heaven Crystal. I thought he disliked business dealings. Has he truly organized this meeting himself? Lan chuckled lightly. Indeed, fellow Taoist Lu, it is the same. While Heaven Crystal dislikes inconvenience, there are a few rare materials he seeks. This meeting was initiated to secure them efficiently. Han Li observed silently, his thoughts hidden behind an expression of calm indifference. Together, the trio approached a striking white pavilion in the distance. Rising 3 stories, the building narrowed elegantly towards the top. As they neared, Han Li noted the silver sign that hung from the structure. It read, Crystal Dragon Pavilion. And that wraps up this episode. In this part, we saw Han Li, Lu Luo, and Mu Peiling finally arrive at the Grand Soaring Heaven City, a massive stronghold of stone and cultivation power. One of the greatest cities in the heavenly south. As they entered, we witnessed Han Li's usual calm composure. While others were amazed by the city's size and prestige, he quietly compared it to the far greater heavenly star city he had once seen, showing just how much broader his experience had become. Inside the city, Han Li and his companions chose to conceal their strength, blending in among the countless cultivators arriving for the great gathering. They made their way to a special district reserved only for nascent soul cultivators, a place protected by powerful restrictions that only those at their level could enter. Han Li's effortless way of breaking through the barrier even surprised his senior, Lu Luo, reminding us once again of how far his power has grown. Soon after settling in, Han Li unexpectedly encountered a familiar face, the young prodigy known as the Child Fire Dragon, or Taoist Lan, whom he had once met during the sword trial assembly. Their meeting was polite and cordial, and through Lan's invitation, Han Li and Lu Luo learned about a private trade meeting organized by Taoist Heaven Crystal, a respected cultivator of the Nine Nations Union. This trade gathering promised rare treasures and valuable exchanges between Nascent Soul experts, setting the stage for new opportunities and possibly new alliances or dangers for Han Li. This episode mainly highlights Han Li's steady composure and adaptability. Even in a crowded city filled with powerful cultivators, he remains calm, cautious, and observant, traits that continue to define his journey. The meeting with the Child Fire Dragon also reminds us that fate often brings familiar faces together again, especially in the cultivation world where every encounter may lead to new paths ahead. If you enjoyed this episode or found it interesting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to get the latest updates on Han Li's cultivation journey. Thank you for watching, and see you all in the next episode.